My fiancée said, "I won't relocate to that dull small town for your job." I responded, "I get it." I took the promotion anyway and moved solo. When she learned my dull job paid $600,000 a year, her messages of reconciliation started pouring in. My name is Daniel, 32, an engineer who spent most of his adult life grinding in silence. And for the longest time, I thought building a future meant building it with the woman I loved. I thought loyalty meant something. I thought compromise went both ways. But the night she finally told me what she really thought of my future, something in me snapped. And I knew, for the first time, that this story wasn't going to end the way she imagined. My story starts with a job offer that should have changed both our lives, and a confession that changed only mine. I met Clara 4 years ago at a tech networking event in Chicago. She spilled her drink on my shoes, laughed it off like chaos followed her around, and I fell for her charm instantly. She was bold, loud in a magnetic way, and never afraid to say exactly what she thought. I used to admire that about her. But somewhere in the middle of our relationship, her honesty stopped being refreshing and started cutting deeper than she realized. We were living together in my small but cozy apartment downtown, splitting bills, talking vaguely about marriage, kids, the kind of life two people build when they trust the horizon in front of them. She worked in marketing, social, branding, a job she genuinely loved. I admired her hustle, but she admired the city more. The noise, the activity, the feeling of being somewhere important. I didn't mind the city either. But my career? It was moving somewhere else. For months, my company had been grooming me for a promotion, director of engineering at one of our satellite facilities. It was a massive leap professionally. But there was one catch: the facility was located in a quiet, rural town about 3 hours away. A town with one main street, 2 diners, and one of those tiny movie theaters that still used neon signs. I knew Clara wouldn't love it, but I thought, maybe she'd consider it. For us, the night I brought up the job offer, I cooked dinner, cleaned the apartment, and tried to set the atmosphere in a way that didn't feel threatening. I wanted her to feel excited, not cornered. But the moment I mentioned relocation, her fork clattered against the plate, and she stared at me like I'd just offered to drag her into exile. A small town? She repeated slowly. Like an actual small town? Daniel, are you serious? Yeah, I said carefully. It's a big promotion. The opportunity is insane. And the salary, I don't care about the salary. I'm not moving to a place where everyone knows everyone and the highlight of Friday night is some local bar's karaoke contest. Her voice had a sharpness that immediately made my stomach tighten. It wouldn't be forever. I tried. Maybe a couple of years. We could save a lot. Build something solid. She pushed her chair back, leaned forward with her elbows on the table, and stared at me like she was analyzing a disappointing product. I'm not giving up my entire life, she said. My friends, my job, my city, just so you can play manager in some cornfield. The comment stung deeper than I expected. Clara, this isn't me playing manager. This is my career. The career I've been fighting for. She shrugged. And I'm telling you the truth. I'm not relocating. I'm not built for that. It's dull, lifeless. I'd die there. There it was. The word she kept repeating. Dull. She said it like the town was a punishment. Like my opportunity was a downgrade. I swallowed. My chest felt tight. But my voice stayed calm. So, what are you saying? She exhaled slowly, rubbing her temples like I'd given her a migraine. I'm saying if you take that job, you'll be going alone. I love you. But I'm not uprooting my whole world for something that doesn't benefit me. If you want to stay with me, stay in Chicago. It's that simple. The silence that followed felt like a slow-motion detonator. Because beneath her words, I heard what she didn't say. Your goals don't benefit me. Your dreams aren't worth my sacrifices. Your future isn't enough. Something cold washed over me. Not anger. Not heartbreak. Just clarity. I nodded slowly. I get it. Her shoulders loosened. Relieved. She thought I'd drop the job. She thought love meant bending my spine to keep her comfortable. She thought the conversation was over. But something inside me had shifted. The next morning, before she woke up, I stared at my reflection in the bathroom mirror and realized something brutal. If the person you're building a life with refuses to build with you, even starting a foundation together is already a mistake. I called my boss that afternoon and accepted the promotion. I didn't announce it to Clara the way I originally intended. I didn't prepare a speech or a gentle explanation. I simply told her 2 nights later, after she'd gotten home from brunch with her friends. She walked into the living room, hung her coat, and said, "Babe, please tell me you didn't do anything impulsive." I didn't flinch. I took the job. Her eyes went wide. Her purse slipped from her shoulder and hit the floor. You what? I'm moving in a month. Her jaw tensed. You're choosing a job over me? I'm choosing a future, I said. One that doesn't require me to sacrifice everything alone. She scoffed. You're throwing us away for some random countryside promotion. You don't even know if it's worth it. But I did know. I knew exactly how big it was. What I didn't know was how little she valued it, or me. The next few weeks were cold, tense. She alternated between guilt-tripping and trying to be sweet, asking me to reconsider, asking if I really wanted to leave her behind. But she never, not even once, offered to compromise. And that told me everything. The night before I moved, she sat beside me on the bed, her voice barely above a whisper. "Are we breaking up?" she asked, eyes glossy. I didn't answer right away. My chest felt hollow. "If you're staying in the city," I finally said. "Then yes." She inhaled sharply, looked away, and whispered, "Fine. If you want to leave that badly, go." It wasn't a plea. It was a dare, a challenge, a push. So I left. The town was quiet, slow, peaceful in a way that felt foreign at first. The air smelled cleaner. The nights were silent. And the job? It was everything I'd worked for. I was responsible for a full division, new tech, new systems, new teams. But there was one detail I hadn't told Clara. The promotion package included a series of bonuses, stock incentives, leadership compensation, and relocation benefits totaling over $600,000 annually. It wasn't just a job upgrade. It was a life changer. I settled into my new environment slowly. Bought a house. Started new routines. Met new people. Built new purpose. Weeks passed. Then months. Clara and I stopped talking entirely. Her last message had been short: "Good luck then. Don't blame me when you get bored." I archived the chat and moved on. Or at least, I tried to. Because the truth is, when you give someone 4 years, you can't just flip a switch. Some nights, the memories pulled at me. The city, the noise, the version of myself who thought love required permission. But everything changed one afternoon, 6 months after I'd moved, when my phone buzzed with a name I thought I'd never see again. "Clara." The preview of the message made my heartbeat stutter. "Hey. Can we talk? I've been thinking about you a lot lately." I stared at the screen, a slow chill crawling up my spine. Because I had a feeling her sudden reflection had nothing to do with love, and everything to do with what she'd finally learned about my dull job. When I finally opened the message, it wasn't just one. There were 3, all sent within minutes of each other. "Hey. Can we talk? I've been thinking a lot about us. I miss you." 3 simple lines, but the weight behind them felt anything but simple. I didn't respond. I left the messages on read and went back to work. But by evening, another one popped up. "I know things ended badly. But maybe we acted too fast. I'm sorry if I was harsh." I exhaled slowly. Not harsh, dismissive, cruel in a way that revealed her real values. But I still said nothing. A day passed. Then 2. On the 3rd morning, she broke the silence again. "Can we video call? I want to explain something." I ignored it. That evening, she finally cracked. "Okay. Look. I heard about your job. I didn't realize what you were actually taking on. 600,000? Daniel. Why didn't you tell me?" There it was. The truth. The timing. The sudden interest. She didn't want me. She wanted the lifestyle she thought she'd thrown away. I didn't respond. But she kept going. "You know, I supported your career. I just didn't understand the scale of this opportunity. Maybe we made the wrong decision. Maybe we should give us another try." "We didn't make the wrong decision," I thought. "You made your priorities clear." Still, I didn't block her. Not yet. I needed to see how far she'd go. The next few days turned into a steady drip of guilt-flavored nostalgia. "Remember that little bakery on Belmont? They still have those cinnamon rolls you loved. I still sleep on your side of the bed sometimes. My friends keep telling me we were the perfect couple. Please talk to me." The version of Clara speaking now sounded soft, almost remorseful. But it felt artificial. Like she was reading from a script written by her regret, or by her new awareness of my salary. On Friday night, she tried calling. I didn't pick up. She tried again. And again. After the 7th missed call, she finally sent a long paragraph. "I know I messed up. I shouldn't have dismissed your dreams. I was scared. I felt like you were choosing a new life without me. And I reacted badly. But if you still care about us, even a little, can we try again? I'd move. I'd come there. I swear." That last part made me laugh aloud. Move where? To the dull little town she once said she'd die in? She wasn't rebuilding love, she was rebuilding opportunity. But I still hadn't responded. And that seemed to make her spiral. A week later, things escalated. I was leaving the division building late one evening when I noticed a familiar car parked across the street. A silver sedan with the same cracked bumper her brother accidentally backed into 2 years ago. For a moment, I froze, wondering if my eyes were playing tricks on me. But then the door opened, and Clara stepped out. She looked exactly the same. Same warm coat she used to wear in Chicago winters. Same hair tied in a messy bun. same eyes scanning the road until they locked onto mine. She walked toward me, fast, breath visible in the cold night air, voice trembling with a mix of nerves and desperation. Daniel. Please, I had to see you. I didn't move. How did you even find my address? You weren't answering, she said. Swallowing. I reached out to your sister. She told me you were doing well. But she didn't give details. So, I asked around. I just needed to talk to you face to face. The word needed hit me wrong. I crossed my arms. Clara, you drove 3 hours uninvited. That's not romantic. That's intrusive. Her voice cracked. I made a mistake. The worst mistake of my life. No, I said calmly. You made a decision. Own it. She stepped closer until she was within arm's reach. Daniel, please, I didn't know. I didn't know what this job meant. What it was worth. If I'd understood, and that's the problem. I cut in. Your commitment depends on the paycheck. That's not fair. She snapped. I loved you. I still do. I shook my head. You loved the version of me that fit your perfect Chicago script. The convenient me. The me who didn't inconvenience your lifestyle. She flinched. Eyes glossy. That's not true, she whispered. It is. You said you wouldn't relocate because my opportunity didn't benefit you. Now suddenly it benefits you, and you're here. Silence. Cold, heavy silence. But her eyes bore the truth. She tried again. We can fix this. I'll move. I'll make it work. Just give us a chance. You had your chance, I replied. 4 years of chances. Her breath hitched. You can't throw us away like this. I didn't, I said. You did the moment you told me my future wasn't worth following. The air felt sharper. Her posture deflated. Her voice dropped low. So that's it? She murmured. You're just done? I'm not angry anymore, I said. Just done. I deserve someone who sees value in me before the paycheck. Her expression twisted, something between heartbreak and wounded pride. And then something darker flickered across her face. I left everything to come here, she whispered. I thought you'd be happy to see me. I thought you'd realize how much I'm willing to do now. Now, I repeated softly. But not then. Then, almost as if she sensed she was losing her grip, she tried one last tactic. Her voice softened artificially. We were good, Daniel. You know we were. Don't let money come between something real. I took a slow breath. Money didn't come between us. Values did. She stared at me for a long, strained moment before stepping back. You're different, she said quietly. Colder, harder, I'm clearer. Her jaw clenched. You'll regret this, she said, voice trembling, not with sadness, but with bruised ego. I promise you, you will. And with that, she turned and walked back to her car. I watched her drive away, taillights shrinking into the dark. I thought that was the end of it. I was wrong. Over the next 2 days, the messages poured in again, only now they carried a sharp edge. You didn't have to embarrass me like that. I came all the way there for you. You think you're too good for me now? Don't forget who was there for you before your big job. You'll realize what you threw away. I muted her. But I didn't block her. Not yet. My closure wasn't anger, it was acceptance. The final twist came a week later. I received a call from an unknown number while reviewing reports in my office. Normally, I let unknowns go to voicemail. But something made me answer. Hello? A male voice responded. Her brother's. Daniel? It's Marcus. I sat up straighter. Everything okay? He sighed heavily. Look. I don't know what happened between you and Clara. But she's been telling everyone you abandoned her for money. That you got arrogant. That you used her. My jaw tightened. Interesting choice of revisionist history. Yeah. I figured that wasn't the full story. He said. I just wanted you to know, she's not doing well. She regrets a lot. But she won't say it out loud. Instead, she's trying to make you look like the villain so she doesn't have to face what she lost. I leaned back in my chair, staring out the office window. That sounds like her. Marcus hesitated. For what it's worth. You made the right choice. She never appreciated what she had. I didn't reply immediately. But eventually, I said, thanks for calling. After the call ended, I finally blocked Clara, on every platform. Not out of anger, but out of peace. 2 months passed. Performance reviews came in. My division's numbers exceeded projections. My team grew. My house started to feel like home. The quiet didn't feel empty anymore. Then one evening, as I sat on my porch watching the sun dip behind the tree line, my phone buzzed with a notification, from a friend in Chicago. It was a screenshot. Clara had posted a long emotional rant on social media about losing the man of her dreams because he chose money over love. Underneath, comments flooded in, friends chiming in with sympathy, strangers validating her heartbreak narrative. But one comment stood out, from someone who clearly knew more. Funny. Wasn't he the one willing to relocate for you? Didn't you call his job dull and useless? No reply from her. But that comment was the final closure I didn't know I needed. Because at last, the truth was out there. Not from me. From the world she tried to manipulate. I put my phone down, exhaled deeply, and let the quiet settle again. My life wasn't perfect. But it was mine. Built on my choices, my sacrifices, my growth. And as the breeze drifted across the porch, I realized something freeing. I didn't lose Clara. I lost the illusion of compatibility. And I gained myself. The future wasn't dull. The town wasn't dull. My dreams weren't dull. The only dull thing was the love that couldn't withstand an inconvenience. And leaving it behind was the brightest decision I ever made.